So, welcome everyone. Today I am joined by Chris Fox, and Chris Fox is a movement educator, a mobility specialist, and an extremely well-renowned yoga teacher here in Ubud, Bali. Not only does he teach at the most well-known, famous yoga studio apparently in the world, Yoga Barn, but he runs his own trainings and retreats and workshops under the Fox method, which is so cool. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's honestly such a privilege to have you on this podcast. So, to set the scene, I'd love to begin with you sharing a little bit about your personal relationship to meditation.
So, well, meditation for me it became a big thing maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was going through a tough time, a rough relationship, and there was something that needed to change. And so looking within and feeling more of my inner world and kind of diving into what has been going on for the past few years within me was just something that became a daily occurrence. So I started practicing every day, just sitting, listening, and witnessing. And I felt that it was just a way to get to know myself better. Yeah. So meditation has obviously been part of my life for many years, since my path in yoga and things like that. But it was never really there. It was more like, okay, I have a view of it, but it was never really felt in a sense. And I didn't really understand like what was the point. But then it became more and more important and a daily practice, and I haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what like lineages and traditions and even concepts of people have informed not only the way you practice, but the way you teach and share the art of mindfulness.
So, like I said, because I've been studying the path of yoga through different trainings and different methods and different lineages, and there was just not a specific one that stuck with me. Until I started listening to Alan Watts. And it was these simple things that he just puts into these very, very simple terms of, your breath is an action and it's a happening at the exact same time. As soon as you start thinking about your breath, it's like it's an action. You're doing it. But when you don't think about the breath, it's just happening to you. So that was one of the key things. And he also has this beautiful way of saying it, and I don't know if I'm going to quote it correctly, but just to listen, just to sit and listen to your inner world and what's happening within. So I started doing that. So I started simplifying. I tried all of these different methods, breathing techniques, and focus points, and all of these things, and it just didn't feel like it was there. It was so elusive, and it didn't land with me. And I kind of just did the simplest thing, and I count to 50, 50 breaths. And then if I end up at 50, I go to another 50, and I keep going. And I never stop until I get to 50 again. Some days it's just 50 breaths, other days 300 breaths. And that keeps me kind of focused, focusing on the breath. My thoughts might go in different directions, but they don't go that far. They don't stray that far because I'm counting. Sometimes I lose count, and that's like, oh, I went that deep. So it's once again, it's kind of witnessing and seeing what's happening within. Where am I today? How am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I going through at this moment? So it's just an inner conversation, basically.
And I love that, just making it simple, because it doesn't have to be a complicated, fancy thing to have the experience of meditation. If anything, the more simple it is, often the more potent the experience. I feel like, I remember, I think it was the Buddha awakened, like he had his moment of enlightenment, focusing on inhale and exhale. Like that was literally it.
And we forget the simplicity sometimes. We have to make it so advanced. It needs to be 1 hour and 11 minutes, or it needs to sit in a specific position, specific mudra, and all of these things. And another moment that really became so vital to me, we had in a training, one of our meditations, it was every morning for an hour. And that was a lot for a lot of people are doing that for 30 days in a row, you know, and getting up and being there at 6 a.m. and meditating until 7. And different techniques every time, but it was just, it was very convoluted, to be honest. It was very, very just, I had no point of focus. And then one morning we had another teacher, and he just came in, he said, sit, close your eyes, breathe. Yeah. And that was the deepest thing. So nice. And since then, that simplicity has really taken me into these places. And then, of course, from that simplicity, you can start to peel the layers and go deeper and add some few things, a slower breath, or focusing with your eyes in a different way. So there are things within the simplicity that can open up more.
Yeah.
But when we start with that complexity, it becomes very, like, you have to hold so much for yourself.
Totally.
And that becomes like, where am I going with this? I feel like I'm just staying put in one space.
Absolutely. And our lives are so complicated and busy and filled. If that's the one message we get from you today, that's just like bang on.
That's it. That's probably going to be the one thing we come back to.
Yeah, but it's brilliant, truly. Because, meditation can encompass so much, but at the end of the day, if it's as simple as literally just being with your breath and letting all else sort of get softer and fainter, that's a really beautiful teaching in and of itself.
Yeah.
A big thing I wanted to talk to you about, because of your work being, a movement educator and a mobility specialist, is the mind-body connection. Right. And obviously we know the body and mind are inextricably linked. I'm curious how you see the relationship between movement and meditation.
Right. So when people come and say like, oh, I want to get out of my head and into my body.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you not there in both at the same time, and why are we distinguishing them as separate entities? Yes. There is no such thing. So when I share about meditation and the mind-body connection, I usually bring up an image of the nervous system and how your brain is these tentacles, these roots that are just these inner rivers flowing out. So this is your brain reacting, responding, and doing things. So your whole body is your brain in that sense. And with that thought and that feeling, once again, it's like merging those two. It's like, what is a thought and what is a feeling? We just put words to things instead of saying, this is an experience that I'm having.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to movement and meditation, it's like, I think, and this is my view on it, but when we read about in the sutras or in the, yoga philosophy of we do the asana to prepare ourselves for a comfortable seat so we can sit. It's like, yes, and I also think that's more of a Western concept because culturally Indians were always sitting on the ground, and asana was more like a gymnastics kind of performative thing when it blossomed in the 1920s. And so they are linked, but I think we as Westerners need it more because we are disconnected from that part, So we don't move enough, and therefore being still, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
If you're able to move within it, you're able to be still within it.
Yeah.
But if you can't be still within it, that means you have a very limited experience of movement, which any seat is going to feel uncomfortable because you have such a small space to be within.
Yes.
But if you have a big space to move within, you're going to have a big space to be still within too. So they're very, very much linked.
Love that.
Yeah. So in my classes and my trainings and everything, the way that we move might not be necessarily yoga or asana in that sense, but the way people feel their bodies afterwards, it's like the most incredible thing. And I get to hear these things of like, my pain is not there anymore.
Yeah.
I felt deeper into this meditation than ever before. It's like, okay, well, maybe because we went to the simplicity of it all. Also, you moved in new ways that you haven't moved before, and the body responds really well to new things.
Yeah.
After some time, that's going to become the same, and you're not going to get to that deep state anymore because that deep state has become closer to you now.
Yes.
It becomes more normal and feeling that your inner world has expanded.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I don't feel it anymore. It's like, maybe because you feel it so often now.
Yeah.
That now you want something more, something deeper.
Yeah.
Which is also this constant chase of, I want more, I want deeper, I want more, this outer body experience, which I call an inner body experience.
Yeah.
And so that just becomes, there's always a chase for something, and we can't really escape that.
Of course.
We're always chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the human default.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And would you say, like, do you see a connection then between the mobility of, like, you know, the physical body, bones, joints, ligaments, muscles, and mobility in the way we think and hold emotional states?
Totally.
Yeah.
I focus a lot on the sense of critical thinking and critical feeling.
Explain.
So that we can not just see what, for example, when I teach my mobility classes, people feel a deeper state of relaxation afterwards. And they're like, we didn't do a single pose, we didn't do a single asana. No, it doesn't matter. Any kind of movement is going to bring your nervous system into a state of like calm. And what I've noticed is that in the mobility classes tend to be more relaxing afterwards because we move more specific and intricately, and it connects to your lymphatic system, your nervous system, all of these things. And your brain gets to figure out these ways of moving that you haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
So that it's not an exhaustion, it's more like a full relaxation. And I think that if we learn to move our bodies and feel safe in moving in a big variety of ways, removing these ideas of right and wrong or bad and good posture, that we can prepare our body to be more resilient.
Yes.
And that is going to give more confidence. And that confidence is going to give more curiosity. And all of a sudden we're in this big upward spiraling, like, what else can I do now?
Yeah,
like now that I don't have pain here, I can do those things. And now it feels more relaxing to be still as well.
Yes.
So there are so many other benefits from moving in new ways until those new ways doesn't really do much for you, but then you want to add more things to it.
Yeah. More becomes available.
Yes, exactly.
Do you feel like your teaching philosophy uses the body as a vehicle for awakening, like that?
In a sense, well, I look at it like this. You can't reach any transcendental experience unless you start with the vessel that will take you, the layer of the body. And then to see that there is something utterly magnificent and magical about this body as well, and not see like, oh, I need to get deeper into my mind. It's like, well, for that to happen, you need to get connected to this. This is the vehicle for that.
Yes.
Mind-body connection.
Mind-body connection.
Exactly.
The two being the same.
Yeah, and then stop distinguishing between mind and body.
Yeah. And in so many Eastern traditions, they don't have two words. It's one word, you know, it's
Yes.
body, mind, or, heart, mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is so beautiful.
And so I think we are good at that as people, but mainly as Westerners, to draw lines in the sand.
Totally.
And it's like, you're making stuff up. This is all constructs as well. So we're making these constructs, and I think that limits us from actually experiencing a lot more of ourselves.
Totally. And they're good tools to understand, but then at some point it becomes limiting to the experience perhaps we're most searching or seeking to have.
Right.
Yeah.
And when the polarity comes into play there, it's like I'm seeking outer body experience. And then I usually ask, what are you trying to run away from within? Why are you trying to get out of your body rather than in?
Yeah.
And then we're using different tools to go deeper within, but they also become a tool of escaping,
Yeah.
I feel. It's another kind of drug that's within, and we can use it through, any kind of movement practice. We can overdo it. It can definitely numb us. We can do too much of it. All of these things. And there needs to be some kind of balance of, you want to be at the right place of fatigue, but not exhaustion.
Yeah.
Or you want to be at the right place of like, I'm balancing on the edge, but I'm not falling over, but I'm not pulling back either. Like there's this beautiful dance.
Absolutely. What do you see as the meaning of soma and like the body holding wisdom and the book, The Body Keeps the Score?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's a very, very profound topic, and I think I talk about it all the time. I like to bring up this idea where people talk about, we store emotions in our hips. And I'm like, we really don't. It's stored in our brain, in our amygdala. But the reason why you're feeling it there is because you're not moving these parts enough. And so that might be whatever part of your body you might feel like, oh, I'm moving my shoulders enough or more than before, and all of a sudden you have this emotional eruption.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's fine, but they're not stored where they are. It's directly connected to like, hey, move these parts. Does that mean that everyone with, you know, extremely open hips are unemotional because they don't have anything to
Just
release?
a blabbering mess.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
and then people with extremely tight bodies, it's like they're always like, there is a connection to psychology as well of the mental connection to your body as well. So for me, there is no distinction between what's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, connected to each other. Like, these things are all very, very deeply interrelated. And so another example is someone who can move very freely and be very, very smooth and fluid and everything like that doesn't mean that they feel. It's just their experience. You know, you can be utterly bored dancing and be like, la la la, and everyone else is looking at you like, wow, how wild and open they are. It's like, no, not really. And then someone who's like very stiff, they might be just on the edge of something new. It's like, whoa, I never moved like this before, or felt allowed to move like this before. You can go for dance or classes, or, you know, going to the gym and having someone tell you, it's like, you don't have to do that, you can do this too. It's like, oh, but I've been told to do this all the time. It's like, yeah, but try it. It's like, yeah, that didn't hurt me. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Because you're way more resilient. And I think this idea of the somatic experience and everything within movement and feeling, and I think we're afraid of feeling. We're scared of feeling, so we don't really go to that place, you know? Or we want to go there all the time and let go of, lose control. Not let go of control, but lose control.
Yeah.
Intense breath work, or a class where you fall out of the shape all the time, you get frustrated, but you keep going for it. Like, it's to find that sweet spot of like, where can I stay here and like be in that moment of what is going on right now.
Yeah, I know that you have the capacity to hold it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like with that, I mean, the fear of feeling perhaps, and what do you feel is the biggest barrier in a sense to this like exploration of self? Because essentially all these practices are awareness practices, like body awareness and awareness of what's happening inside, you know, the realm of your own mind and thought.
Right. So many things. And one of the things that I think about is people who want to explore themselves. Either they come from a background where they weren't really satisfied, if it's corporate or if it's something, and they just decide to change their lives, you know? And so we're vulnerable at that point, and we're very susceptible. And then there are people around that are like, they can feel that. So they're like, like, come here, I'll give you some cool practices. And you're like, yes, I'm a sponge, soak it up. And I think that if we have a sense of integrity and moral compass, we'll take whatever that is. And I've myself fallen into these places. And after some time, I felt like, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like took a bigger critical thinking overview of it all. It's like, oh, that doesn't resonate with me anymore. Okay. And then now maybe I can help other people to like say, oh, and I did this. Like, okay, just be mindful of this, and maybe look at it from a bigger perspective than like take everything they say for granted, or like this is their word is like, it's like, don't idolize a person for saying some charismatic, lofty things. Yeah. Because I've done that. Yeah. And I hope that I don't do that as a teacher, but feel more grounded and like, hey, don't take anything I say seriously.
Totally.
Like look into it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think when we're at that vulnerable state and being so susceptible, we can just dive into anything, and we can become addicted to that, like seeking awareness or these things. And that brings me to another funny quote. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope it is. I want this story to be true so much.
Quoting Chris Fox.
But it's probably not. It's probably someone just made this story up. But it's a story of Ram Dass and Alan Watts.
Yeah.
Slightly tipsy, hanging out in a church.
Okay.
And they were having these philosophical conversations. Can you imagine sitting and listening to those two? Your brain would probably explode.
I would love to be a fly on the wall.
Oh my God. Yeah. And there was one point where Alan told Ram Dass, he's like, I think you're too attached to non-attachment. I'm like, damn.
What to do with that?
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wish I took one more sip of his beer and walked out of the church and just seeing Ram Dass sitting there like, oh no. So that thing of getting attached to these principles or ideas or lineages, things change. We change.
Yeah.
And so there is no one right way of doing things.
Yeah.
And to get stuck in those ways. And I've been stuck in many different lineages of yoga asana, and then seeing like this is the only thing I'm going to do for the rest of my life, until I kind of snapped out of it and said, oh, there's more than this.
Yeah.
It's like I want to have a variety of things that are giving different aspects, but they're all interconnected in a beautiful way.
Yeah, and I guess it can take a while to reach that layer of intuition, you know. They speak of it as like the fourth layer of, you know, the layers of consciousness, like the sheaths of the body, you know, body, energy, mind, and then you hit intuition, but it's that point where perhaps it's like all these practices come from you from external sources, which is like what you're saying. You're searching and seeking for a teacher, and you're placing the reason for your, you know, upgrade or shift in consciousness outside yourself. And then eventually you hit this place where it's like, oh, actually I can choose. I can, you know, be fluid in the way that I practice and feel.
Yeah.
Which I feel is what you were speaking to a little bit. And,
yeah.
But it can take a while. It's like no one really turns to this path and goes, this is how I'm going to do it, you know?
No, I mean, for me, it wasn't a straight path. It never is. It's the most crooked road ever. And I might detour and get off track and like get lost. And that's the cool part about it. And it's when we name things, it has this quality. So whatever tradition you come from when saying, you know, we're going to meditate, and some people are going to do from whatever their teacher said, other people are going to do in a different method, and to sit and say that one is right and one is wrong, or one is better, one is worse, it doesn't really work. So when I teach classes, I don't really use any names of asana, because I'd rather give simple cues, because as soon as I name the name, they're going to go into that specific pose like it is, and then stay there. And I was like, no, I want you to explore something. And then figure out like, oh my God, I've been squatting this whole time. I had no idea. It's like, exactly. Because we didn't think about the squat. We did the mechanics of it, but it never said the name. As soon as I said the name, you were like,
replicate.
Right.
And impose
you're putting yourself in the box.
Totally.
Totally.
Oh.
So that goes into any kind of practices, I think. Whenever we name something, it loses the capacity to actually expand, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least going multiple different directions. But like, okay, this is the exact way I'm going to do that now. It's like, what if you can do other ways?
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
I love that. Just being like the inner skeptic, which makes people challenge
Definitely.
their belief system, which is powerful.
Yes.
And I've been in your classes. They're really fun. You use a lot of humor. It's great.
Yeah, that's true.
How much of yoga do you think influences what you share? Like, how much does that seep through, perhaps in the background more than in the actual language? Right.
So even there, like when we say the word yoga, like what how do we define that?
Please
you
do.
Know? I can't. I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to define it, because it has so many different values and ways of seeing it. Right now, I see yoga more as a form of activism and a sense of becoming more informed. Yoga is also an act of rebellion, like against conformity. So it's like, for me, yoga is not just like, you know, internal awareness and peace and love and light and everything like that. No. It can be rage, it can be resistance, it can be opposition, it can be confronting and questioning things that are happening in the world. And so I'm figuring out, how can I bring my view of the world of without preaching, without pushing, but helping people stay a little bit more curious. And that starts with me first, to stay curious about what is happening in the world. How can I be of service in a better way? How can I look at, you know, where I live and what I do and how I can offer something that other people begin to look at their own world as well. And like, what can I do as a form of support
Yeah.
for people who are near you, but also on a larger scale?
Yeah. It's so true. Yoga is so counterculture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It is.
And oftentimes when something lasts for a long time, the teachers that started in the 1920s with you know, they wanted to create something that could engage the people, to move more and to get more fit. That was kind of one of the purposes of why yoga came up in the 1920s after the First World War, and they were like, oh, we might get invaded. We need to probably train our people to be a little bit more fit, and like if anything would happen. And then they started looking at different places all over the world of like YMCA in England and Scandinavian gymnastics, and like put that into a system. So they were rebelling against the conformity of what was happening. And then that continued so long until they became the conformity of that. So if you, what's the quote? You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. So
I haven't heard that one.
So it's like, how can we see what has been taught for a long time and not be too attached to it? Because I think if the teachers that shared all of these methods, Ashtanga and Iyengar and all of these things, if they were alive now and saw that we're doing kind of the same thing for about 120 years, they would be like,
wow,
why haven't you changed that?
Yeah.
Make it better. Like,
yeah,
why hasn't it evolved?
Respect the teaching, honor the depth, but adapt the wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depending on where we are as a culture and multiple cultures and what people need. So we need different things.
Yeah.
And if yoga, the asana was created for, you know, teenage boys in India, which we're not, so how can we adapt it to be more accessible and inclusive for more people as a way of, hey, this is a practice to be introspective, to look at your own inner world, to listen to any kind of aches and pains in your body, take care of that. Also to listen to any aches and pains within your mind and your heart, and to see that none of those are any different from each other. They're all interconnected, and how can I take care of this inner world of myself in order to be of service to others in the outer world, so that I can take care of others as well. So I think that's the interrelational beauty of yoga.
And something I think makes you such a good teacher is because you make these concepts really relatable, like these esoteric things. And like when you speak to inner world, we're kind of speaking about like, you know, like the layer of energy. And so many people, energy is so woo, like, you know,
yes,
to influence your energy. But it's like, could you explain what perhaps like we mean by the subtle body?
Sure.
Yeah.
I make it into the simplest explanation ever.
Love.
Look at it like this. If we close our eyes and look within, we kind of built this house, this kind of home. The home is better than house. And so you've decorated the home with you know, different furniture and plants and paintings and all of these things. And so we build up this inner world, and when we are seeing something that kind of disrupts that inner world, if it's something that goes against what we've been taught, or something happens in the world or nearby or far off, where it kind of changes us a little bit, that becomes a crack in the wall. And then you can take another painting and hang it up over that crack, and just, you know that it's there. Yeah. You know that it's there somewhere in the back of your mind, but you're like, and then the crack goes larger, and then you're like, shit, what is this? So what I work with is to break down those walls, to expand your inner world. And when you break down those walls, you're going to see a larger world within you, also outside of you. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's so scary. So people rather build up the walls again, and now you have cracks all over it. There are these shaky walls that are like, if you touch them, they're going to fall.
Yeah.
So, but people rather build up their little walls and be like, no, I don't want to learn new things. Like, I don't want to know what's going on. I just want to stay safe here. But it's not safe, because you see the cracks in the wall now. What if you break down the wall, you stand on the rubble of your previous experience, of yourself, and see that there is something so much more of you and of everything outside of you? And that to see that where is the distinction, again, what is happening outside of you and what is happening within. To see those kind of tendrils and layers and things that are like, we're all these heartstrings that are connected to all of us.
Yes.
And you can choose to stay in your little home and
Shield yourself.
be safe there, but you're going to be so careful about everything.
Yeah.
Or you can break down those walls and just let the world unfold in front of you.
It's so beautiful. It's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to hear you also speak then to like this idea of our inner world being essentially just as vast as the external world, which is like, you know, there's planet, there's the galaxy, there's galaxies, and like you could go on and on until you actually can't fathom it anymore.
Yes.
But again, I'm gonna use you as a beautiful, like relatable teacher with words that can, you know, explain these concepts so beautifully. But you know, people can get lost when you say like our inner world is as vast as that.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for you?
Well, you said something beautifully about getting lost, and I think that's a very valuable thing to do. I often use the analogy in my other classes where imagine that you're walking on a path of a forest, and everyone imagines their own different forest in their mind. It's like where they grew up, or something imaginative, or something, whatever it is. And we can walk a path that we're familiar with. We know the lake is there, the trees are there, but what if we step off the path? And what if we step in between the tree lines and go deeper within? And there's no path now. Like you're just getting lost. All of a sudden you find a clearing. And like you didn't know this existed because you wouldn't find it unless you did get lost.
Yeah.
Like you can search for it all over, but you can be so attached to the searching that it's like you're always staring at a wall instead of like tilting your head. It's like, oh, that's the corner. It's like, oh, there's so much more here because you just decided to shift the gaze a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of being so attentive, the drishti being like so focused, which is good in many, many ways as well. But sometimes shifting the perspective and looking somewhere else, just tilting the head a little bit, might be a massive change.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's that whole thing of being able to embrace unknowns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think one of the most important aspects of yoga is to kind of accept our mortality.
Yeah.
You know, and we're always trying to immortalize ourselves, whether it is through like, you know, prolonging our life with biohacking methods or supplements or whatever it is, or just like, I want to create a legacy that I'm going to be remembered.
Yeah.
And I love when people ask me, what happens when we die? You know, it's like, well, I cease to exist, but I remain in the memory of others.
Yeah.
That is, in a sense, a way of immortality.
Yeah.
So that's what we want. What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? And can we accept that we're all going to die at some point? And that's fucking scary. Because we can't explain that.
Yeah.
And other cultures have
the physical body's going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like other cultures, indigenous tribes and indigenous people have a different way of relating to death that Western people tend to not have. We fear it. We don't want to have it.
We don't
it's
want to
like
talk about it.
other people accept it. And the Balinese have a beautiful way of,
So
you know,
beautiful.
when they just, oh yeah, my grandma just died yesterday. It's like, how do you feel? It's like, yeah, good. She was great. It's like, are you not sad? It's like, oh, well, that's life. It's like, fuck, that's good. Okay, we can learn a lot from that.
We can learn so much from that. It's, profound.
Yes. And that becomes we can go into that woo-woo space of like the ego death and like the practice of a class is like you start and you're blossoming and then you wither and you die in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like bringing it up and bringing it down. It's a very beautiful, poetic kind of way of looking at it too.
It
and
is.
I like that.
The laws of nature, creation, destruction, maintenance, and everything in the material universe is going to have to go through that.
Yeah.
But then there is an immortal part of us, which is, you know, soul or awareness. And
Totally.
I guess that's also what yoga is, in a sense, trying to reveal.
Yeah, it is immortalized in some way because someone started making all this stuff up and we're still doing it.
Yes.
If it's in books or videos
someone
or
made
someone.
It up.
Yeah, someone made it up. Someone made it up.
Someone made it up.
That's it.
Yeah. It's always funny to remember that. Am I doing it right? I'm like, well, someone made it up.
Someone made it up.
Them, maybe.
There's the beautiful story. I say it all the time in my trainings. I've said it so many times before, but peer pressure is, or tradition is peer pressure by dead people.
I've heard that before.
So it's like, there's this story of a family, and there's this daughter, and then her mother, and then her mother, and a friend is over and having dinner, and she's going to put a steak in the oven, and so she cuts off the edges. And it's like,
I love this story. Continue.
and then she puts it in the oven, and her friend is like, why did you cut off the edges? Like, oh, my mom does that all the time. It's like, okay, do you ask your mom why she did it? It's like, no, she just does it. It's like, do you want to ask her? It's like, sure. Mom, why do you cut off the edges of the steak before you put it into the oven? My mom used to do that all the time. It's like, okay, well, Grandma's sitting over there knitting, so why don't we just go and ask her? It's like, hey, Grandma, why do you cut off the edges of the steak when you put it in the oven? It's like, oh, we had a very small oven. It wouldn't fit otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing things without asking why.
Even though we have a big oven now, we could.
So you could fit it in. Like, why are you cutting off stuff? It doesn't make sense. So, but that is a good analogy for things that we do. We follow blindly. We do things because someone told us to do. And I get those questions all the time. It's like, my teacher said to do this. Like, yeah, but did you ask them why?
Yeah.
It's like, no. Maybe you should.
And is that why relevant today?
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're going to ask their teacher, why did you say? Oh, my teacher said. And then you can go back 5 generations, and then you come back to that first one who made it up. It's like, why did you do that? Oh, I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
It's probably something that it's a silly answer compared to something like very profound.
Totally.
But we make this, we put so much value on these things. Like, these are sacred things. These are like, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, if they work, yeah, great. But if they don't, why are we still doing it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're full of stories today. It's great. How good.
I do have many stories, yes.
Yeah. Stories are the best way to learn.
Yeah.
So before we finish, I really want to hear you speak to the Fox method. What is the essence?
I think the Fox method has been kind of what we've been talking about here now, the essence of simplicity, critical thinking and feeling, and to not be afraid of being vulnerable and going into your inner world.
Yeah.
So Fox method became this, it's just a weird name to coin it after a name too, but it's like, just for me, the essence of the foxes has this elusive kind of weird little mythical creature running around and being a little bit mischievous and like, yeah, curious and a bit like coming in and messing about and then running back out. It's like, I feel like I do that. I feel like that's my job to go in and tell people some different things, and then if people leave my classes looking like this, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, that was so nice. And then 3 hours later, what did you do? I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, he made me ask things. It's like, good.
Yeah.
So, mobility, movement, intelligence, and then combining them into this way of feeling ourselves more that is more inclusive, is more adaptable, that it's not this exclusive kind of like, oh, these are the ways of doing it. It's like, no, it's very conceptual. It's a conceptual way of looking at the body, the movement, and feeling. And to see that all of them relate together. And that can go beyond the physical stuff, more into the philosophical and poetic and everything. It's like a big combination of many things.
It's awesome. Yeah. And you have a training coming up called Intelligence, right?
Yeah, the Journey Within, a intelligence training, is in December.
Could you explain Intelligence?
Intelligence has been probably my favorite thing to teach. Because I was teaching yin for many years, and I felt like a lot of people left feeling more disconnected. And when I started practicing and teaching mobility and what I was trained in, I was learning more about the nervous system and how adding tension and joint movement is very, very beneficial and helpful for a lot of people. So I started adding that into my classes and seeing like, oh my God, people started feeling more and getting more connected to themselves and given the permission to move freely, which can be confronting for some. It's like, move freely. Like, what do you mean? Like, you can move however you want. Like, that's a lot. That's once again pushing down the walls and like, I can go anywhere I want. It's like, yeah, where do I start? It's like, wherever you want. Like, tell me what to do. It's like, I get it. So I tell a little bit of what to do, but I also give options to move around freely and show a little bit like you can move like this. And all of a sudden you see people's faces, they're like, they're in this really, really cool experience. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So it's more of an adaptable way of moving in yin and combining mobility. It's very safe and sustainable. Everyone can do it. It doesn't matter if you have injuries or out of surgery or you're an athlete. Like, I've had everyone in the same class and everyone gets to do the same thing. It's like, whoa, okay, I found a method where everyone gets to do the same thing, but in their own pace and in their own way. And then observing yourself, like, I encourage people to move slowly. And if someone is moving like this, like, check in with that. Why is this always rapid movement? It's like, oh, can you slow down? It's like, maybe slow is for someone like this. And then slow for someone else might be like this. So our own perception and experience of it is completely different.
Yeah, rather than giving it to them, the
yeah,
whole
exactly.
magic
This
of
is the way to do it. You have to
are-
do exactly like this.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for everyone. I wanted to make something that worked for everyone, and the intelligence became this. The intelligence of yin and soft movement and somatic experience was like, whoa, this really works.
Yeah. And I feel like you just spoke to it, but I feel like the question I was, wanting to end on as like a piece of final inspiration is, what is your ultimate vision for how people relate to their bodies, to their mind body?
Right. Wow. It's a big question.
Yeah. Answer it as you wish.
I don't know if I have an answer to that, but I have an intention of, I think allowing people or welcoming people to become softer, because that's a very, very big strength and something powerful.
Yeah.
And I think men need it.
Yeah.
Primarily men need it. But all people need it in some way, and it becomes this self-reflective kind of, who am I? What am I doing for myself? And once I get a little bit of hang of that, what can I do for others? So if we have this softness within, then other people are going to feel that too, and we can kind of like not change their inner world, but say like, hey, I see you, I know what you're going through, and that's tough, but I've been there and I know it, we can talk about it if you want to. That's it. Simplicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what starts off maybe, not for selfish reasons, isn't it's wrong to start something for yourself, but it becomes for an extension of self.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got to start with ourselves.
Exactly.
We can't offer things that we're not practicing ourselves, which is very, very common too. We don't really practice what we preach. So when I see people doing the intelligence, I'm like, I should do that one day.
Yeah.
But then I realize, oh, but I live in that world. I can just close my eyes and drop into that very easily, while others need time to like kind of peel away those layers of like, oh my God, I'm feeling so much now, and I haven't felt that in years. Like, great.
Yeah.
You know you can come back to that anytime you want, right? It's like, it's always there for you. But it was once again that wall in front of you, and all you had to do was this.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're helping people
Yeah, just
the head,
check to the side a
steer
little
in
bit.
different directions.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there anything coming up that you want to speak to, or ways people can find you, work with you?
Yeah. On Instagram, this is Chris Fox, or that's my website as well. This is chrisfox.com. I have trainings, at least 3 trainings next year at the Yoga Barn, and I'll be continuing my work here with regular classes and meeting people for private sessions and things like that, and just try to help out and be of service.
Yeah, just being an absolute weapon in the
I try.
world.
Yeah, I
you
try.
are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ash.
And
My
your
pleasure.
wisdom.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo.